Hi, I'm Iman Bakadari,
And I'm Gabrielle Correo.
and we're the Bakadari team coming to you live from the Douglas Elliman headquarters in Midtown Manhattan.
So, Iman, it's official. The first quarter market report for 2025 is out, and the numbers are saying that sales are up 29%. So, what's going on?
Well, Manhattan's a good value. It's so interesting to track how prices moved since the rates went up in 2022, but specifically fast forwarding to last year, every quarter the median sale price cooled off a few percent. And I think buyers recognized the value in the market and all jumped in.
Yes, so I've been seeing bidding wars in multiple occasions. So, for example, I have buyers that just went into contract on Fifth Avenue. The apartment that they originally wanted already had multiple offers, so we actually lost out on that bidding war. But then I became aware of this intel that there was another apartment, same line, one floor below, that was off market, and I was able to open that availability for them, and they're actually buying the apartment on the lower floor. So that's just an example of like how tight the inventory was.
Wow, that's amazing. I feel the sellers are having the same benefit by we're getting great traffic on our well renovated properties.
Yeah, I mean, even though inventory is up 7.5%, I feel like the good inventory, meaning well renovated properties, are really still few to come by
Like in low supply.
in low supply. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the luxury market. It seems to have rebounded significantly.
Yeah, so the luxury market, which represents the top 10% of the market, has moved. It's shifted upwards significantly, 19.7% to be exact. So now the luxury market starts at $4,400,000. And the median sales price surged 18.5% with inventory plummeting 24%.
Wow. It's funny you say that because our buyers, I feel like, finally found the apartment of their dreams at the prices they wish they could buy them. Sometimes they've been looking for years. Like we have one particular buyer that's been looking for at least 5 years for the right property and finally managed to get the right apartment at the price he wanted. So it seems like luxury uh, arrived at a valuation which was a buy. Some of these developers who built these incredible buildings on Billionaires Row, some of them took 40 years to get permission to build. They weren't selling, so they ended up having to discount them. So it's a very interesting point in time where you can get these Tony properties for incredible value.
Yeah, and I think we're also seeing what's called the boomerang wealthy effect. So all of the wealthy people that left New York during the pandemic, they went to Florida or other states, they're all coming back now. A lot of them due to offices calling back people to the offices. So we're seeing a big surge in the luxury market because of that. Iman, the burning question on everyone's minds right now is regarding the tariffs and the uncertainty that they are causing in the financial markets. What will be the impacts on the real estate market?
Well, that's a great question. So the uncertainty in the market, the volatility in the market has been causing the 10-year treasury, which is pretty much how mortgage rates are affected, is how the 10-year treasury moves. So last week, the 10-year treasury moved below 4%, which meant rates were going to come down significantly. But again, today it crept up back north of 4%. So it's a little early to tell how the mortgage rates are going to move with the tariffs, but the expectation is it could be good for the market. And the other thing is investors that are like they have all of their savings, all of their money invested in the stock market, which has been climbing and doing really well. Now that they're seeing there's fluctuations in their values, are thinking, okay, maybe it's time we pull out and go and buy that apartment because New York is a great deal now. So we're seeing more investors coming to sort of a safer asset, which is buying their New York real estate.
Makes sense. Yeah, and I'm also thinking if there are going to be tariffs on imports, it could increase the cost of materials for new construction, for new developments, and also the cost of labor. So that's something that, we could see being impacted directly by these tariffs. But I think, overall, it remains to be seen what the impacts are going to be on the real estate market, and we'll just keep a really close watch on it.
What is the current status of cash versus financing deals?
So even though cash deals still represent a majority of the transactions being done at 58% of the market, we're seeing finance deals happening more and more because of the recent reductions in mortgage rates.
Hmm.
Actually, the highest record of cash deals was in 2022 when they represented 67% of the market.
Wow.
Iman, so what advice do you have for sellers in this market?
Well, what I can tell you is that sellers in this market have a much better prospect of selling than they did this time last year. The second quarter of the year historically is the highest selling season of the year. So if you're aiming to get a high sale price, you want to be in the market during the second quarter. And given that we're coming out of a really fantastic first quarter, the prospect that you're going to get a good price and sell is very good. But you still have to do all your renovations. Your apartment has to look very good. So for instance, any minor renovations you have to do, um, buy new pillows for your couch, whatever it takes to to give your apartment the curb appeal that it needs, do it. It's worth it. You'll get your money back twofold, sometimes threefold. Gabrielle, what advice would you give buyers?
Iman, the conditions for buyers right now are excellent. We are coming into the year already with a surplus of 7.5% increase in inventory. That's something that we really needed, and the inventory is just going to keep increasing with the spring market that we're in now. Typically, second quarter is historically the highest selling season of the year. So sellers from now in April to June are going to be bringing on all of the best inventory. So buyers are really going to have great options to shop, and prices have cooled off. So honestly, I think these are some of the best conditions that I've seen in 2 years in the market for buyers. So, coming into good conditions like this, there will be some competition. So I'm already seeing some bidding wars. So as a buyer, you really want to be ready and prepared to come forward with all your paperwork ready.
Mm-hmm.
You want to have already talked to a bank and have your pre-approval letter
Mm-hmm.
available. And, you want to work with the best buyer's agent who really knows the market and is going to be able to help you navigate the current conditions.
Great. Thank you. And thank you all for watching. We really appreciate you taking the time to listen to our market discussion. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to put it in the comment section.